Hello, I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is the Politics Free Podcast,
where you can come for a short time each week to get away from the madness of the world,
while we carry on as though nothing important or noteworthy is happening.
So join us for some conversation,
some silliness,
and a game,
while we attempt to put you in a better mood by the end of the episode than you're in right now.
Welcome to our bubble.
Welcome to our bubble. Hello, everyone. We're coming to you this week with a shorter than usual episode due to unforeseen circumstances, which included massive schedule interruptions and my inability to correctly save an entirely edited podcast episode.
I'm going to try and act surprised since we didn't just do this. What? No way.
Okay. We also messed up the beginning of this recording and are doing it again. Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Let's move on. We're just going to do a couple of short conversational topics that I got from a Party Questions app in their Deep Thoughts catalog. And no game this week, even though the intro says we have one. Sorry about that. Let's just roll.
Wow.
We'll roll. Things are going to be
Heather.
fine. Did you get my text, by the way,
I
where
did.
I was like, oh, did you think of any answers?
For the first one I did, and what would be the first and last sentence of your autobiography?
Okay, so the question is, what would be the first sentence and the last sentence of your autobiography? So Ryan and I are both going to answer this one. Bro,
You go first because
Oh, okay.
I was so busy. I only had a chance to think of the three nevers.
Okay.
So I did not get around to this. I'm going to just wing it. I'm going to wing it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Oh, of my autobiography.
Yes, your autobiography.
Okay.
Now, do you have a great answer? Okay, I'll just go.
Know. Yeah,
I'll
You go.
Okay. I've got a bomb opening line. This is the greatest opening line of any autobiography ever written. I was born on bonfire night.
Were you?
I was.
What is bonfire night?
It's Guy Fawkes Day, November 5th.
Oh, okay. I thought it was relevant to South Africa. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Okay. The last sentence.
I died on bonfire night.
No.
Oh.
Close. Very close. It's, I'm sorry that was so damn boring. I really don't have a very exciting life. It's not a life you write an autobiography about. It's pretty mundane, clippity-clop. You know.
I got to be real, but I'm pretty sure that most people don't have lives worth writing about, but they're able to cherry pick all the exciting moments in their life. Like I could probably write a book. I've been in some interesting situations and done some pretty.
No, I was going to say you've had a much more interesting life than me. I think you could write an autobiography. I'd read it. Let's be honest, I'd probably ghostwrite it for you, too. Can we just be real for a second?
What are you trying to say, Heather? You think
my
grammar not good?
No. Why would you think that? Why would I think that? I just get the idea because you don't really like reading that writing might not be up your alley either.
Hey,
That's
listen,
all.
I will tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
I took a college placement test and I did pretty well on the reading and writing, even though I don't like reading.
Okay.
I do have the reading comprehension, if you will.
Good for you. That's good stuff.
And then the writing, I can know what's correct and what's not correct typically, but yeah, my writing's not great. I try to write good, real good.
And read good too.
Yes. So, I was born 2 days after bonfire night.
Okay, we'll go back to the autobiography. I like it. And last sentence of your autobiography.
FYI, my sister edited this for me.
Okay. What are the three nevers of your life?
Okay, so I would never murder anybody.
Okay, I didn't even have that on my list, so now I feel bad.
I will never eat squash ever.
What? Like, not at all?
Don't
You
even
don't
bring
like
it near me.
squash?
You do not, Heather. Do you know
What?
why I don't like squash?
Because there's something slightly wrong with you mentally, probably.
Heather, do you
What?
remember Bambi Nursery School?
Yes, I do.
They used to serve squash for lunch. I assume it was lunch.
Yes.
I don't think I would have been there long enough for dinner, and they probably didn't serve that for breakfast.
Right.
I don't even think they had breakfast. Irregardless, I didn't like it to begin with and was not interested in it and did not want to eat it. And I literally would have grown women holding my mouth open and then shoving the spoon into my face and shutting my mouth like this, shutting my mouth, to
Yeah.
make sure I swallowed it. So I will not touch squash.
Wow, you really fought them on that. I remember they just say to me, well, you can't go out and play unless you eat it all. And I would just be like, but it was like pumpkin or something that I didn't like.
It was
Was
squash.
that squash? Maybe
I'm
it was.
sure it was squash. I'm sure there was
Well-
pumpkin. I don't like pumpkin either. So, like pumpkin pie, not a fan.
Well, you know what? I don't like pumpkin pie either, but I figured out that it's because of the spice in it, not because of the actual pumpkin.
Oh, you know what? I lied a little bit. I will say that I've always enjoyed Mom's pumpkin fritters.
Yes, those are excellent. I love the pumpkin fritters. But whatever this concoction, whether it was squash or pumpkin, and they put peanuts in it, as I recall, which seemed out of place just to a regular person. And so I would just like steel myself and I'd be like, okay, one big bite, Heather. That's all you got to do. One big bite of this crap and you can go out and play with these kids. And I just stuffed the whole thing in my mouth in one gulp so I could go play. And then I would spit it out outside so I didn't have to swallow it.
Wow, I never thought of doing that.
Yeah.
But,
well,
I don't think I was ever given that option. And if they did give me that option, I probably would have been like, fine, I'll stay inside.
Okay. They were real sticklers about you had to eat everything, weren't they?
Yeah.
Did you do all three of your nevers?
Oh, no. So
Okay.
I would never murder anybody.
Okay.
I will never eat squash.
Good.
And I probably would never do hard drugs.
Okay.
Recreationally?
Okay. Fair enough. I took a different approach to my nevers.
Oh, okay.
Because I would never murder anyone and I would never do hard drugs. But somehow that didn't make it onto the three nevers list of mine.
Because you probably would do one or two of those things. Just saying.
I would murder you. Is that what you're saying?
If I murdered anybody, it would be you. Little buddy.
Little buddy. Okay. You have to, I started randomly calling Ryan Little Buddy in one of these episodes, and you have to listen to the stereo episodes to find out why. Let's get some people listening to us on stereo. Link in the show notes. Oh, listen, while I'm on the topic, just random interjection into the middle here. I literally every episode forget to do this. Listeners, if you have been enjoying this podcast, will you please do us a huge favor and share it on social media and rate it on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast app you use if it lets you rate podcasts. And to be very clear, we're looking for 5 stars ideally. We will take 4. If you're going to go lower, please don't rate us. It's that simple, right?
You just got us a bunch of 1 and 2 stars, Em.
I know. I'm just saying, nobody actually wants your honest opinion. We just want good ratings. I'm just saying what people think in their mind when they're like, give us your honest rating.
Yeah, if you have any criticisms, email us at
hey@thepoliticsfreepodcast.com. That's HEY at thepoliticsfreepodcast.com. Also,
link in the description.
And subscribe. And also,
link in the description.
Share?
Oh,
okay. Also, this has gone completely off the rails.
Sorry, Ed.
One other thing, actually, I will say, Do you have ideas for games you think we should play? Topics you think we should discuss? Email that to us too. We want to hear from you. And I'm just going to go make sure after this recording that all of that doesn't go straight to the spam folder, because it uses Outlook, and they like to put a lot of stuff in spam that I'm like, why would you put that in spam? It's from a friend of mine. Like, I don't get their spam choices very, very well.
That is bizarre.
So if you have tried to email us and you haven't gotten a response, it might be because you ended up in spam, and I'm sorry about that. Okay. That's all behind us now. Let's move forward. Here are my 3 nevers. The first one I actually already mentioned in our Life Lessons Stereo episode. If you want to follow us on Stereo, you can also do that. Just kidding. That's another shameless plug. Anyway, it's this. Number 1, never trust anyone else with the important documents of your life, like your social security card, birth certificate, etc. We won't dwell on that any further. Number 2, never assign another person to the dickhead category until they've had at least 3 impressions on you. Like, for example, if on the 4th encounter with the person, they're a dickhead to you and they were a dickhead the 3 preceding times, only then can you safely really deem this person to be a dickhead. Otherwise, you got to give them a few more chance. Never let if someone's like, if you have a hard time with someone on the 1st encounter, like anything could be going on. They could be having a horrible day. They could have just been screamed at by someone. You don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So I never want to judge immediately. I'll give them up to chance 4. If it's 4 times a dickhead, I'm done with you. I will judge you at that point in time. This is a good rule because I've only ever assigned 1 single person to the dickhead category in my whole life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyways, that is my number 2 never. And my number 3 never look into the past and wonder what could have been. It's just super duper depressing. I used to do it all the time, and I just put my foot down one day. I was like, I need to stop doing this to myself.
Yep.
It's not helpful. It's not productive. Makes you feel terrible. And the beauty of life, if I may get deep and philosophical for a moment, in my opinion, is that even if you didn't do whatever it was you wanted to in the past, you still have the present and the future. So, yay.
Word up.
That didn't end as gracefully as it started, but you were going to say something?
Well, you know what, Hev? I think that kind of, you keep that in the back of your mind, because there will be a point where that might need to come up again in this podcast. Any hoodle. I have named quite a few people dickheads.
But you didn't give them 4 chances, did you?
Oh, no. This is a couple people I've worked with regularly on a regular basis. One person that I lived with, was roommates with. And there's like a couple people that I haven't labeled like dickheads, but I've just like distanced myself from them, or just completely like cut that line.
Sure.
Because I feel like, they're good people. They were good people, but they were just a little wayward. And that wasn't like, I didn't want to be involved in that friendship.
Sure.
If you will, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But anyway, there was one guy, probably like the most hated person that I've ever met. Like, I absolutely hated this guy, and I worked with him for many years, and he is literally the only person where, going back to my first never, I would fantasize about like homicide with this guy. Like, it was bad. And I was just like, and there was a point where I was just like, you know what? I got to get a new job. Which is a whole long story in itself, but I eventually did get a new job and have lost all contact with that guy. Like, it was bad. Like, he would come and like he would just criticize me for the stupidest stuff, like all the time, like every day. I mean, it was like constant. And it really was getting to my head so bad, and it was just like, I couldn't, it was terrible. It was a very dark time for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Mr. I'd never murder anyone except for this one
guy.
Well,
I didn't murder him. So
Okay, I mean, point taken. Point taken. You win. Well done for not doing that.
Thank you.
There's still me if you ever need to kill someone. We're kidding.
I could never
Just
murder
in case.
you, Heather.
Oh,
Maybe accidentally kill you, but
that means so much to me. So much to me. Okay, let's do one more question from the deep thoughts section of this party questions app.
sure.
Okay, right now we'll end off on an uplifting question. Are you accomplished enough not to be concerned about your death?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the only thing, like, if I was like, I still have younger children, and if I were to die tomorrow, which, knock on wood,
I know. Yep. Let's do it.
I think that would be, obviously, like, my wife and my kids would be left behind, and they would have to go through that kind of grief.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, I mean, like, I'm not ready to die,
Right.
but it's not like I feel like I've accomplished quite a bit in my life. I mean, I went from a total failure and apparently my parents' favorite child.
I still stand by that. I think it's mostly accurate.
I don't think so.
Okay. To be fair, we give our parents a hard time so much on this podcast with this. It's just a running joke.
Yeah.
Growing up, I never ever felt actually that one of us was favored over the other one.
Yeah, neither did I.
I honestly didn't. It's just looking back on it, there were certain things that I was like reflecting on that I was like, hey, wait a minute. I never got the Chuck E. Cheese birthday. I never got Nikes. They never, and it was just like stupid little stuff like that. But the other thing too, once I had gone away from home, they probably had more money to spend anyway.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Heather.
Yeah.
My Chuck E. Cheese birthdays were when I was very young, so you were still living at home. And B, the Nikes that I got that one time were in middle school, so you were still living at home. Did you ask for them? Did you ask for those things?
I don't remember. And that's a fair question. I don't remember if I did or not. I may or may not have. Maybe I didn't think that I had the option to ask for them.
You know what?
Maybe that's what it was all along.
Probably, Heather. You probably could have been like, Mom, I want a Chuck E. Cheese birthday. And Mom would have been like, done.
No, that one I did ask for numerous times and repeatedly and over. I definitely asked for the Chuck E. Cheese birthday.
Mom, for shame.
Unbelievable. Okay. We love you. We love our parents. We have good parents. Let's not give any wrong ideas.
The best parents.
Especially since Dad does all the transcripts and all of the websites for free without charging us anything. Okay. Good parents. Okay. So, to go back to this question and we'll wrap it up here. So right now, are you accomplished enough not to be concerned about your death? For me, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm going to accomplish anything particularly fantastically great with the rest of my life.
Right.
I would not feel comfortable with dying at this moment.
Right.
If I rephrase the question a bit to just like, are you ready to die kind of a thing? Not that anyone's ever maybe necessarily ready to, but I think some people are sometimes in a better, like, I'm in the middle of too many things.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the middle of too many things to say, oh yeah, like no big deal if it happened tomorrow or whatever. And I definitely need somebody to be there for Charlie, my older daughter, for much longer than probably typically a child needs a parent.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, I used to, like, when I was younger, I used to be like, yeah, I'll die around 70. Like, I'll go to sleep like Grandpa did, just not wake up and it'll be fine, right? And yeah, 70, that's long enough. I don't want to go longer than that. Now I'm like 120. Got to keep it real. Keep it going. Got to be there for as long as I can. Like, I want to stretch it out for as long as my kids need me,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at on that particular question. And now it is time after that short, sadly short episode for us to end with our customary advice. I'm just going to harken back to my number 3 never. Never look into the past and wonder what could have been. Make your future today. Sounded like a commercial.
Booyah.
That's what we're ending on.
Hey, but so this was the part that I was trying to find. It's from Sanskrit.